All right, welcome back to the MarbleCast. We talk about everything related to strength, fitness, and health so that you can live a longer, stronger life. I'm Joe Marble, and today I'm joined by the one and only Gina Caplan. What's up, Gina? How the hell are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
You have a lovely garden behind you. It looks amazing.
Made it myself.
Awesome. So we asked Gina to be on here because she puts in a ton of work here at Marble Strength. She's had a pretty decent journey, I'd say. She hasn't been here the longest, but she has probably been here the most hours of any person in the gym. I had to get her to leave to do this podcast. I had to kick her out of the gym partially. So Gina, let's talk about what brought you to Marble Strength, formerly known as Dark Athletics, in the first place.
Well, I was kind of forced. I was no longer allowed at hot yoga anymore for reasons. They wouldn't let me do hot yoga naked, so they kicked me out. Mm-hmm. It was very unfortunate because it was a dream of mine to do that. So my husband was like, why don't you try this place? And I was like, fine, whatever. I just want to work out. And I showed up and you were there and you were really nice. And I was really mean because I didn't want to be there. And it was cold and you showed me things with a barbell and I wasn't impressed. And you wanted me to jump rope and jump on boxes and I wasn't impressed. And I left. And I came back the next day still.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe told me, he's like, yeah, my wife needs a place to work out. She probably won't stay. But I told her about you guys. So she's going to reach out or I'm going to tell her to just make an appointment. I said, okay, cool. So when you first came in, I had no expectations of you hanging around. I knew that you weren't really into weightlifting. So I didn't really want to force it. But I was like, listen, this is kind of what we do. And I'm not going to kick you out. So if you're interested in hanging out in a gym, I'm your guy. Pretty much kind of how that kind of went.
Yeah. So basically what happened was I did maybe only 2 intro classes with you. And then what happened was I was waiting for Joe to come with me because I was so intimidated by everything, just because, not because of you guys. You guys are great. You welcomed me and stuff. It's just that it was so different from what I used to do. So I would wait for my husband to go. And then I got into it really quickly because I wanted to get better. And my husband would be like, oh, we can't go Tuesday. I'm like, well, why? He's like, well, I don't have time. I was like, all right, well, we're going to miss clean and jerks. I don't know what this is, but we're going to miss it. And then the next day I would see it would be back squats. And I was like, well, we're going to go today, right? Because we're going to miss back squats. And he's like, no, I can't go today. And after a while I got frustrated with him because he never would come. And so I just started going to the 9:30 myself. And that's where I met Kara. And I just worked out with this girl that was about my height and size. And I was like, oh, she's strong. I could be strong too. And I kind of used her as my guide. And she never talked. So I walked up to her one day. I'm like, hi, we work out every day together. I'm Gina. Kind of became friendly. And then I kind of just showed up every single day and tried to get better. That was always my goal. And I know Joe said I was only going to come 3 days a week. But what happened was the way you program, if I miss a day, I miss front squats or I miss back squats. And I was like, I can't miss this. And so I started coming every day. And I started really, really enjoying it. And I started to get somewhat decent at it. And
what do you think the appeal was, not necessarily right away, but coming from, you were doing yoga for how long?
8 years.
8 years, coming from doing just yoga and bodyweight stuff for 8 years and transferring into a strength-based gym. What do you think the appeal is there?
Honestly, it was just, I kind of felt like the universe purposely pushed me away from yoga because there was so much more I was capable of and I wasn't giving myself the opportunity. So when I walked into your gym and I started doing all these different things, I started seeing different results. I started seeing myself get stronger and leaner in different ways. And I was kind of pushing myself in a way that yoga was not pushing me. And I was seeing transformations in my body and my strength that I wasn't seeing with yoga. And that kept pulling me back in.
What's the biggest change that you saw right away other than just strength? Did you see an actual physical change?
I was tiny then. I mean, if I were to look,
you're still pretty tiny. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I am. But now I have legs and arms and stuff, so that's cool. what did I see different? I just started seeing muscle growth in different places that I normally didn't see. Like when I look back at old videos of myself, I was just skinny. Like I just felt like I was thin. And now it's like I kind of filled out in a different way. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, you put in a ton of work. It's unreal. I don't understand how you have energy.
I tell you all the time, it's chlorophyll,
Yeah.
it's energy breaks.
It's not caffeine, that's for sure. But
no, I don't drink coffee. Honestly, I really enjoy it. It's like a true love for me. And I love your programming. I don't think that I would have been as successful at any other gym if I really feel like you play a big part in not just who you are as a person and the way we connect, but and just the way you program. And you never ever made me feel like I couldn't do something. Like you're always very honest with what I need to do to be better. And you never like give up. You're like, this is what you need to do and we'll work on it. And you're never like we have to do it now. It's like, no, you'll eventually get it. Like that helped me grow because you were patient, your programming is excellent, and you never make me feel like I can't do something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to push anybody past their limits, and everybody in the gym has limits. Like we all have things that we need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of, one, are you willing to come in and do the work? Is like 90% of it. The other 10% of it is just like accepting the fact that you won't be great right away.
Oh yes, I had to accept that. And even when I felt like I was getting good, I knew there was so much more I still had to do. So that's probably my favorite part about Marble is that it's like every time you hit a PR or anytime you get good at something, there's still such room to grow. And it never ends. And that's okay, right? If you're okay with the journey that you're on, you can't go in there and just expect that you're going to do 5 strict pull-ups and you're going to do all this crazy stuff. Like you just got to accept that you're going to suck for a while. And when you think you're getting better, you still kind of probably suck. And when you think you're getting better, you still really suck. But like you're better than you were when you started. Like if you were to think back when you first met me, you always say like you were going to last 13 days. That's like the number you used to throw out, And here I am 2 years later. Like I don't think like if I said to you 2 years ago, do you think I would be where I am now? You'd probably be like, no.
2 years ago? No, I probably would have been like, you're still going to be here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but you do a lot of stuff here. What do you think your favorite moments are in the last 2 years? As far as hitting, what PR was your favorite moment? What we can get into more of the weightlifting stuff in a bit, but like what were your favorite like moments, even for like the first 6 months and then tying it into like later on?
Probably when I started to really get good at the WODs and I saw my numbers, like the times start going down and I started catching up with people that have been there for a while. Those were kind of my favorite moments to see that I can start being somewhat competitive with other people's times because you never really compete against anyone. It's kind of like you use other people's times to push you. And there was a time when like I was so far out, there was no, I think my favorite moments were seeing like even with Kara, like seeing that I wasn't too far behind. Probably my favorite moment on the strength side was being able to do strict pull-ups and even kipping, because that was something that I never thought I would ever get ever in my entire life. I have 2 left feet. So you want me to kip and pull myself up? Like that's not going to happen. That was definitely one of my favorite moments, and probably winning the Scaled Holiday Wars.
Yeah.
Not even a year in. That was fun.
Yeah. I have to bring that back this year.
Yeah, that was always fun.
I have to figure out how I'm going to do it. You only did that once, right?
Yeah, well, you only had it once.
For you, yeah, since you've been here.
Yeah, you've only had it once since, and I don't think I would have been able to participate this year too much. But that's actually what got me into weightlifting was that actually.
Like just the super total part?
Well, because I was getting really good at the WODs and the fitness part, but I was not good at the Olympic lifting part. And I knew that if I wanted to win this, because it was just a personal thing with myself, because I had come so far. It was something, this is not what I do, and I was getting good at it. So like I set this goal that I wanted to win this thing, but you have this super total, and I knew that I had to win almost all the WODs in order to, because I was going to be like last in the super total. And I said to myself, if I win this, I'm going to focus more on the Olympic lifts and getting stronger. And I won. And then I was like, oh, well, how am I going to do that? And then it's kind of just happened.
And so getting into more weightlifting stuff, were you always looking to compete in weightlifting, or was it just to improve for the group class?
I never thought I would ever compete. It was really just to get better. I don't even know what I was doing. I wrote a little story on my Facebook about how weightlifting was to me, like that relationship that you thought was like out of your league. And anytime I walked into the gym and I kind of looked at the other side, I was always like, oh, thank God I don't have to go on that side. It looks really scary. But the thing is, when you did all these comps and stuff and I would come watch, I was really, really into it. I love watching Olympic lifting. And deep down, I think I just always had a fear of it, but I wanted to try it, but I was afraid of failing. And so when I started, you and I started one-on-ones more like with one other person, 9 o'clock, 2 days a week, probably last March, like the end of March. And I was just looking to get better. I had no expectation of where it was going.
Yeah, that was right during the first workshop we did, like the first.
It was right after the first workshop, because the workshop was over and I was kind of like just really getting into it. And then you decided to set something else up in the morning. And I was like, yeah, why not? You know, and it was still hard to get me away from the other side, because you know how much I love fitness. But I did come over and I did work out. I did weightlifting with you 2 days a week with probably like one other person. It wasn't a big class.
Yeah, I think it was with Mike.
Yeah, it was just me and Mike. And we were just, I had, like I said, I just was just trying to get better. And then I remember the day it clicked for me with a snatch, and you got excited. Alec was there.
Okay.
And you were like, we could work with this. I don't know what I did, because I think a lot of the time after fitness, I would go in the corner and just still practice on the days we weren't practicing. And one day I finally made contact on my hip and I was like, oh, this is how you do it. It was still wrong, but like, we could work with it. And you got excited. You really were. And Alex said something, you're like, no, we could work with this.
Nice.
And then I started to get the snatches. I think I was still kicking it out then a little bit more, but like I finally made contact and I finally got it over my head properly. And that was the beginning.
What you do that I really like is that you'll spend time with it on your own. And it's just, I think that that's super important for everybody who's just learning how to do something. Like, you don't necessarily need a strict program right away or a strict program at all. You just need somebody to help you focus on the things that you need to work on. And if you want to improve on snatches, cleans, or jerks, or whatever it is that you want to improve on, you need to actually take time and just practice that movement. And you did that, and you still do that all the time. Like every day you would just sit in the corner and just be in front of not a mirror, because we don't have mirrors, but the little glass windows.
Yeah,
and you would just sit and work on the movement. And you didn't need anybody to come over there and tell you what to fix. You just wanted to do it. And that's so important when learning a new skill, because you have, like, you don't always need somebody breathing down your neck being like, no, you need to fix this, you need to fix that. But when you have those moments with the coach and then you take it and apply it on your own training just to work on the skill, you do that really well. And I appreciate that so much. And I wish other people would do that also. But it's hard because they don't exactly have all this time. I mean, some people have a little bit more time, some people don't. And that's the hardest part when learning a new skill. It's like, how much time can you spend just working on your own without somebody critiquing every little aspect of it?
I mean, I stood in that corner for a while, and then on Saturdays after fitness, I would go in the corner because I still didn't have the confidence to come over to the weightlifting side, you know, and that took a lot of time, but I wasn't ready for it. And you even said it, like, and I like how you, like, I said something to you, like, I would love to weightlift on Saturdays, but I know I'm not ready. And you were like, you're good in the corner right now. Like, I think you need that time to yourself. And I took it. And eventually I made my way over on Saturdays to the weightlifting side. Like, I just feel like that was just how the journey had to happen. I did have to sit by myself for a bit. I had to feel it. Even today, after I sat on the platform and just played with jerks a little bit more, trying to figure out what it is that I'm feeling, what it is that I have to do differently with my leg, and like trying to remember that feeling so I get it right. And you can't always do it in practice. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to just sit with yourself.
Yes. And it's actually better because now you don't have that sense of judgment coming from somebody else. Like, you know what else you need to do? You need to do this, you need to do that. Like, as much as I help during those times, it's good to actually be away from me or being away from somebody, because you need that space. You need the space by yourself to actually work on the movements and work on the skill, just because you need to just spend time with reps.
You need to feel it. And I mean, like I said, I clicked with my snatch when I wasn't even with you. And even though it wasn't perfect, I figured out a certain feeling that I needed to have. And then you're like, okay, we could work with this. So now you're like, okay, you know how to hit your hip now. Now let's fix it. You know what I mean? So it works for me. And like, as far as time goes, it's like, I truly have a love and a passion for weightlifting and fitness. When I was younger, I did spend a lot of time in the gym, but back then it was more like stationary stuff. And I knew nothing about Olympic lifting. So you do have to have a true passion for something. And yes, you need to have some sort of motivation, but you need to be disciplined, especially with this sport. You really need to be disciplined when it comes to learning it. You do.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you have to be disciplined with everything. And
anything that you want to do.
Whenever somebody comes in here, I'm not the best salesman. Like, I'm not here to sell you on the gym when someone walked in the door. So I never know if they're going to stick around or not. And like, especially like in your case too, I don't know how long you're going to be here. So I don't know how much information I need to apply. But the reality is, this isn't going to take 30 days. So if you're just looking for a trial run to see if you enjoy working out, we are not the best fit for that, because I'm not going to show you how to enjoy fitness in 30 days if you never enjoyed fitness. I mean, I'll give you accountability and show you some stuff, but at the end of the day, you have to develop a relationship. We have to have some sort of bond in order for this to work. Otherwise, it's not going to work. If you're already thinking, well, I'm leaving in 30 days, I don't really want to do this. We are not that place. We are more of a place where you want to develop a relationship with a coach, find a team, and be a part of something that you really haven't been a part of. Like, this is, I think, a lot. It's grown significantly since you've started.
Yes, it has.
Sure. Our structure of our group sessions have become much more efficient, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And sure. I think other people are seeing that as well, because now they're getting different attention. The classes are structured a little differently. We have a lot more help to provide those opportunities for everybody. So like, even from you being as disciplined and as structured as you are, and but being a part of it, helped us grow the program a lot more. So that's been a tremendous value.
Well, watching you grow as a business owner and a gym owner as well has been a lot of fun, because I just enjoyed watching your transformation and watching you put on comps, like in the, 2 years ago, and to the one that you just threw at CBA, and just seeing the transformation and how just bigger and better your comps continually get, how you keep putting all this time and effort into the gym in different aspects and actually seeing it pay off. That's been fun to watch as well.
Yeah, it's all a ton of work.
It is, but it's good. It's definitely paying off, because you've created a really good look. I like I said before, I wouldn't have been as successful as I have been if I had been anywhere else. I just don't think I would have.
Yeah. I mean, definitely would have been a different weightlifting experience for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
When was your first official weightlifting competition? Because we did the mock competition.
Yeah.
That was at the end of the first workshop, right?
Mm-hmm.
In April of 2022 or 21? 22.
22.
Yeah, April 2022. So we did a mock competition. That was your first like test run.
Yeah.
What did you?
I'm scared. And God,
what was your experience on that first test run, if you can recall?
I knew nothing. When I tell you, Joe, I knew nothing about weightlifting. I knew nothing about what I was supposed to do. I just knew I had to go up there and snatch and clean and jerk, but I didn't understand that it's your best clean and jerk and your best snatch and gives you a total. Like, I knew nothing. I was like going up there, throwing some weight over my head and doing my best. I knew nothing. So I was very new and confused and didn't know anything much about it. But when I was in the moment, I really enjoyed it. That's what I remember.
Do you remember watching everybody else lifting and sort of like taking visual cues?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Who was somebody that you noticed that day that was like, okay, I need to fix this one thing?
Probably Heather, of course.
Yeah.
And even Melanie was still pretty new, but she I looked up to her and all the different things that she was doing, and the down and like when to drop the weight and stuff like that. But even just in the way that they lift, you're always looking at everyone and picking up things from each other, I guess.
Yeah, I pick up things from sometimes you guys just on how to coach things.
Yeah,
a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the questions that come up, sometimes I don't think about them because either it's been way too long or I've never had to really come up across that. And I'm just like, yes, you should feel that. Good. Cool. But yeah, it's a learning experience for me as well. So that was your first taste in weightlifting. And then we were set to do the August competition, but we got a little derailed because you want to do this stupid other competition that I don't even want to bring up, but we can bring up what happened at it.
Oh, we're allowed to talk about it?
Yeah, we could talk about it. What the hell happened? So I was on the phone. You were done with the competition as far as I was concerned. And then I get a half hour later, I'm on the phone with Joe, and he's like, yeah, something bad happened. We got a problem.
Well, Joe, I'm really short, and the bar was too tall for little old me, and I wasn't allowed to stand on anything. So by the time, and again, this was me and Diana, it was a partner comp. First off, it was really a lot of fun because Diana and I really kind of we really paired well together, and we saw that we were actually placing. We kept coming in second and third for a lot of it. So there we are. I'm like, wow, we might actually place. Joe's going to be so proud of us. And then they had this last surprise rod that would have changed nothing and involved pull-ups. And Heather just had taught me how to do kipping pull-ups 2 weeks ago, and I was still doing singles. And I was like, oh my God, I can do this. I know how to kip now. And then they showed me the bar, and I was like, wow, it's really tall and big. I don't think I could reach that. And I walked over and I was like, hey, can I have something to stand on? Because that bar was really tall. And they're like, no. I'm like, but it's really big. And they're like, nope. I was like, all right, well, I can't, back out now. So I did my thrusters with Diana and walked over to the bar. And I jumped up and I hit it. I just made it the first time. If you look, Joe has a video. I just made it the first time. And I did a pull up, and I remember jumping down and being like, this is really scary and whatever. And I went to go jump up again, and I tried to get more momentum for the kip so I can maybe get 2 in. And my hand just missed the bar, and I fell back and slammed my wrist pretty hard into the floor. And it broke.
Breaking it in several places.
And I remember getting up, and I remember it already had swelled tremendously. But I don't know if it was the adrenaline in my head. I thought it was a shoulder that I could pop back in. And Marcy's yelling from the other side of the gym, don't touch her. Everyone's running towards me. I still don't know what's going on. Diana runs towards me, and I'm like, are we still in third? And she's like, what? I just need to know, are we still in third? And she's like, Gina, don't even talk about that right now. Are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know. And everyone's kind of huddled around me, yelling people to call an ambulance. And I'm like, it's not that bad. Marcy walks over. It's bad. Just don't touch her. No one touch anything. And that's how. And then I remember my other reaction, there was 2 thoughts. One was asking Diana if we're still in third, and then looking at my husband, and then looking down at my wrist again and looking at my husband. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to compete in August. You're going to have to tell Joe.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, this is kind of why the final straw that we moved away from CrossFit, because I had already had a negative feeling towards local CrossFit competitions and CrossFit competitions in general. I think they're just poorly run. And it just was kind of the last straw for me. I don't understand the logic of some of the things that these people that put on competitions, I don't think they think everything through. I think they think of it as an entertainment standpoint and not so much as what the logistics are. So for me, it was just a problem to begin with. And I wasn't really pushing you guys to do any CrossFit competitions. You guys found it. You're like, we're going to do it. I said, okay, cool. Did you practice any of these things? And we did do a couple of practice runs with you and Diana.
We did, but that was a surprise.
But that one wasn't part of it.
That was a surprise WOD, and we were in a scale division. And quite frankly, what's funny is there were 4 of us that were still competing, and only 2 of the teams could do pull-ups. So that goes and just shows you that I fell literally with 3 minutes left in that WOD. It was like a 6-minute WOD, and we still came in second in that WOD because no one else could do pull-ups besides the first team, which is debatable if they were scaled or not.
Yeah, and at that point, is the workout even worth it? So like that, it was just I think a very it was just a very unfortunate accident, of course.
It was, you know what? I was kind of going through some weird shit in my life at that point, and kind of like, I know it's gonna sound weird, but like I kind of feel like it had to happen for me in a weird way. So I was angry, but like the more I had a lot of time to like sit with myself and think about certain things. And then there was a part of me that was like, well, you know, maybe I'm not supposed to weightlift. Like maybe this is like the universe telling me to like slow down. But I remember you came over, I think you came over before I had surgery.
Yeah.
Because that was the other thing. I was in the hospital, and all I kept asking them was, how long was this going to take to heal? I have things to do. And I don't think they wanted to tell me I needed surgery. So they were like 6 to 8 weeks. And I was like, okay. And then when I went to the specialist, he kind of laughed. He was like, you have to have surgery. And I was going to be out for like 3 to 4 months just to heal the bone, and the rest of it, whatever. But you came over and you were in my kitchen. Joe went somewhere, and you were like, I don't know if you were holding Sabine, and you just kind of looked at me with like this sad look, and you were just like, you were almost there. And like, I was like, oh, he actually thought I was getting good. I was like, I had potential. And like that lit a fire in me to want to get better even quicker. And through the whole healing process, like no one really told me, like I just thought they were going to fix the bone, and like I was going to take my cast off and it was going to be better. But I had a major mobility issues, and I actually was not supposed to be lifting the way I'm lifting, but I didn't really listen to that. But it lit a fire in me to want to come back bigger and stronger. I just had to be patient. I had to wait for the bone to heal. And once the bone healed, they still wouldn't clear me to lift because I couldn't close my hand. And they wanted me to do all this intensive PT that insurance didn't want to cover anymore because they were like, this is how she is. She's not getting better. I had no strength. And all I needed to do was walk into the gym for a week and touch a barbell, and my hand closed again. So I didn't need intense PT. I just had to touch a barbell again. It was magic.
Yeah, that's part of it. Like you just have to put your hand and your wrist back into those positions.
That's it.
And it's still taking time to really get where it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, I operate at about 80%, and they told me I would only operate about 50 or 60. So I'm way ahead of the game. Will I get the other 20% back? I don't know. We'll see. My shoulder operates at 90 because of the inability to get back or whatever. But you always say to me, look how far you've come. I mean, if you want to talk about that first comp, right, that I actually did compete in was December.
That December, right? Yeah.
And if you really think about it, I had just picked up a barbell September 8th and took my first snatch with like 25 pounds. It took me 3 weeks to regain some strength. And by mid-October, I was working with you again in weightlifting. And then by the end of October, you were like, do you want to compete? And I'm like, he's got to be kidding me. And you weren't at all. You were like, no, I'm being serious. And I actually, when the comp was, and you said it was December 11th, I'm like, oh, that's 6 months from my surgery. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to compete. And I remember getting frustrated because coming back, it was like, all right, clean 80 pounds. I've cleaned 80 pounds before, and I couldn't clean 80 pounds when I came back. So it was like that frustration of having to redo things I've already done before because I had to do it again now because, whatever. And I remember 2 weeks before I came up to you, I think it was the 2 weeks before, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. I'm not strong enough yet. And you were just like, you were like, Gina, look what you've been through. You've come so far. You absolutely can. And I was like, okay, fine. And I showed up December 11th. And to be honest with you, when you look back, I mean, I've grown so much since that day, but I pretty much hit what I was hitting before I went out, if you really think about it.
In December?
Yeah. I mean, with the clean and jerks were about where I left off. And I mean, they gave me the 30 kilo snatch, but I didn't really hit it. But that was like my best before I went out. And I got it over my head at least. And it was just nice to prove to myself that I could go out there and get back at it as quickly as I did when they told me I wasn't going to. That was really what that whole comp was about.
And then I made you compete like 3 more times, like in a
Yeah,
row.
you did. And so
It didn't end there.
but you know what was weird? It's like I keep getting stronger faster. And I don't know if it's just because I'm catching up to everything that I, was missing out on before. Like I should be at a different level if I didn't break my wrist. And I think that at this point, like, because I competed in January and that was not that far off from December. And I got the 32 over my head, right? And I got 41 up. You know what I mean? I continued to get stronger and stronger. And I competed again right after that. And I got the 33 over my head. And the last comp was my favorite comp. It was my best total, even though I'm kind of annoyed I didn't hit the 34 because I just get so damn nervous. But it was the first comp that I looked at my lifts and I kind of didn't feel so new. Like I looked like I kind of knew what I was doing for once. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, that's why competing is like kind of fun for you because you're still new.
Yeah. Yes, for
and
sure.
you're making a ton of progress because you're putting in a shit ton of work.
Yeah.
But you're also working on competing and how that's a different mindset than just being in the gym.
It's completely different. Do you want to talk about how nervous I get?
Yeah, we can. It was just like the different aspects of competing at a weightlifting event versus CrossFit. It's different nerves.
Yeah.
Similar, but like once you're in the middle of a workout, you like forget about the nerves.
Yes.
But in weightlifting, you're there for 5 seconds and it's like, all right, cool. I'm still very nervous. And I'm going to be nervous when we come back out again.
Well, that was very true about the CrossFit comp because you were nervous for the beginning and then you eventually flow into the workout and you just get into it and you just do it. With weightlifting, it's like, okay, you got 3 shots to not fuck up. Go out there. And you're like, okay. And you just you want a total, right? So I feel like this last comp, I definitely should have opened up heavier. I should have opened up at least at 30, but I wasn't. I was training, but I wasn't training to compete. I don't know if there's just
this last competition, I just threw you in.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I feel like if I had known that I was competing, I probably would have trained a little differently. But going in, I really did want to actually open up. I did want to open up heavier. I did want to open up 30, but I also was nervous and I wanted to make sure I totaled. So I didn't because I feel like I should have done 30, 32, 34 or something. I don't know. I just feel like I should have, but I didn't, and it's fine. But like I said, my favorite part about that, not even the I mean, to be honest with you, Joe, I get excited when I PR and I like that I'm getting stronger, but it's really about just getting out there and not looking like I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel like that was the first comp where even just the way I lifted looked a lot more professional. I looked a lot more like, oh, she knows how to snatch. It might not be super heavy yet, but she knows how to snatch pretty well. You know what I mean?
Wait till we get away from those big white plates on the platform and you get to the greens.
Yes. And
you feel a lot better about it. Oh,
it's coming. Yeah.
I know you already hit it.
I did. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's funny. I feel like I can't even go heavier, but I get so nervous approaching the weight. I don't, and my right side, I can't even, I don't know what it is. It's just I'm not afraid of getting hurt anymore. I don't think that's what it is. I just don't like failing, I think. And I just gotta kind of get in my head when I get up there because I don't want to fuck up.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you care about your performance. You're very passionate. So that's awesome, right? You're not at the stage where it's like, yeah, I've done this for 10 years. I'm going to do what I do and it's fine. That's kind of how I am. It's just I'm going to do what I do. And I don't care anymore because when I first started competing in weightlifting, I was way worse than you because I didn't have anybody in my corner to calm me down, especially the first competition. First competition was a mess. The second one was a little better, but you get nerves and you learn different things that you need to do and different tactics. You see how different people approach the bar. You see how different athletes with more experience handle themselves in the back room, what they're doing a little differently. And it helps you on your journeys. This is not like a 30-day challenge, right? This is what I do with my life. This is what you do.
Right.
Whatever comes in the future will come later. But for now, this is kind of where we're at. I like competing in weightlifting. You're enjoying competing in weightlifting. And if you wanted to compete in other things, we can always just work on that.
Right.
But for now, this is what we do. And this is the fun that we have on the side of our regular lives that challenges us to be better at something that we normally wouldn't even do.
Right. And this is something I never thought I would do. You know, that's why this is so far out of my comfort zone. You know, some people who don't know me or don't know the sport think like I actually am just naturally good at this. And I'm like, no, I'm definitely not. It took a lot of time and it took a lot of dedication to get to the point where I somewhat can look at my video of my last comp and say, okay, I'm starting to look like I know what I'm doing. It took a lot of time. So it's definitely not something that happens overnight. And I know I still have a long ass way to go, and I'm totally okay with that. I really am enjoying the whole journey, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And a lot of people will ask, oh, how long does it take? How long does this process take? I mean, it's, you know, how long do you want to give me? That's how long it'll take me to work with you. If you want to give me 30 days, then in 30 days, you might be a little better. If you want to give me 30 years, you'll be even better. Yeah. Because it's a process. Like, I can't explain weightlifting. You can't read about weightlifting in a book. You can't, like, if I explained to you what it was, you wouldn't understand it. You have to actually do it, and you have to do it for a long time, and you have to spend the time doing all the reps, doing all the movements, and you'll get it. Like, I work with a lot of CrossFit athletes that want to improve their weightlifting, but they don't really spend a ton of time just weightlifting. Mm-hmm. They spend a lot of time doing conditioning, do this workout, do this for time, do that, high intensity stuff, which is great. And it's a whole other skill and technique, but that's not what's going to help you with your weightlifting. If a 1 rep max comes up, you're going to do what you do, and that's fine. But you have to spend time doing it. And that's how I actually got better at CrossFit, because I quit CrossFit and just started weightlifting. Mm-hmm. And it made my CrossFit stuff better. Yeah. Because I was stronger.
Yeah, you're right. Because I feel like until I started implementing weightlifting with the CrossFit, my CrossFit started to get better. And now it's like when I CrossFit, it does come a lot easier to me. And I used to love the fitness so much that I had a hard time giving up the weightlifting, but now it's starting to be the opposite. Now I'm okay with missing a workout, which I never thought the day would come where I would be okay missing a workout just so I could weightlift. I still, after weightlifting though, I still have a tremendous amount of energy because I'm just like a ball of energy. I don't know why, I just am. So I usually do still CrossFit after, but I CrossFit a lot less. I mean, 4 days is like not a lot for me. So you should be proud that I kind of toned it down.
I know, that's like the cool thing, right? That's the trajectory. You get introduced to all these movements and they're like all crazy and it's amazing. Like, oh my God, someone at the gym did this. I want to do that one day. Someone at the gym did this thing. We had this workout. It was crazy. I'm so tired. And you tell everybody about your workout at the gym.
I know.
And then you're like, but I suck at weightlifting and I need to get better at that. And then you start like dabbling, you dip your toes in. You're like, what's a snatch? Can you explain it to me again? And I'll practice it. All right, cool. Thanks for the tips. All right, wait, what's a clean? All right, cool. I'm going to go practice that too. All right, what's clean and jerk? Can I do that one? All right, cool. Hey, my legs are weak. Can I do squats and presses and stuff? Let's do all that. All right, I don't want to do any more of this fitness stuff because it's making me tired and then it's interfering with my weightlifting. Can I just do weightlifting? Yes, you can.
I still feel like I need a balance. I still like the cardio aspect that I get, but for me, it's the combination of the weightlifting and not CrossFitting as much as I used to. Look, I don't even go to Murder Fit anymore on Saturdays. It was like my favorite thing ever. You know, because now I'm like, I gotta weightlift on Saturday and I gotta be strong because it's heavy day.
Yeah. I know that the Saturday sessions here are kind of weird. It's like mostly just weightlifting.
Yeah.
Which is I'm fine with. I like how the gym is kind of evolving. But like we do have a small group that do the Saturday strength conditioning classes, which is cool. It's fine. But my wife can't get to a class where there's people in it. So she's just constantly working out with one person or nobody. And now she's getting frustrated. Mm-hmm. So we have to figure something out. Erin, figure it out. I don't know how to do it.
I would do it with her after weightlifting, but not before.
But obviously, like the fitness stuff is awesome because it's a full body workout. But for me, it doesn't solve a problem for me. Like my problem and my goal is to be stronger and be better at weightlifting. So doing the fitness classes sort of derails that. And it seems like more of I'm just screwing around as opposed to actually working on the things that I want to work on. Mm-hmm. So for me, the strength classes are really good for people who don't have a proper routine in the gym and want to learn stuff. And if they have small goals of just being consistent with a program and maybe losing weight, building muscle, that program is perfect for you. But if you have others competitive goals in mind, those aren't as structured as the same way. Like you have to have if you have a specific weightlifting goal, the weightlifting group or the powerlifting classes are a lot more dedicated to those things. And that's really where you're going to find actual specific training, as opposed to just, we have a structure in the fitness classes, but they are very like loose general fitness.
Yeah. I mean, I know for sure I was never going to learn how to snatch and clean and jerk the way that I can do it now if I didn't go over to the other side.
Yeah.
It was not a huge focus. And I remember, I think it was like Snatch Thursday or Snatch Tuesday, and I would be like dreading those days. And now I can't wait to snatch every single day. But it was because I had to understand the process and learn. But the extra weightlifting that I do, yes, I know I do both. It has carried over to the fitness part for sure.
Yeah.
I could walk into a WOD now, and I'm actually pretty, like, yesterday's WOD was like a great WOD for me, right? It was front squats and with the row, and like I just feel like the weightlifting is what made that whole WOD easier. I kind of like to see that. I wish people would do more combinations. I think fitness is great, but I also think weightlifting is great, and I think finding a balance within the two is important. And I like that about your gym, because you have that option. There's that option there. It's like, you want to just do fitness, you want to just do weightlifting, or you want to do both. It's there. It's here for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what, yeah. I mean, we have both options. There are different on-ramp options for both of them.
Mhm.
And we work with a lot of masters athletes. And I think that that's awesome. I think it's finding weightlifting later in life is just kind of cool and interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, what, 39, 40 when I found it. I always say I wish I found it earlier, but I mean, this is when it was my time. I have the time to do it. And so we have like a whole masters team. It's great.
Yeah. We have a lot of events coming up, a lot of master stuff. I'm going next week to Pan Am's in Florida. So hopefully I don't embarrass you guys.
Definitely not. You're definitely not going to embarrass us.
I'll try not to. I just have to make a total, I think. I think I'll be okay with that.
Make
But yeah, Gina, you're awesome. I keep being awesome. I love your tenacity here at the gym. I'm gonna have one final question for you.
Sure.
What is your perfect day?
Oh, well, well, it's waking up, and
what time do you wake up?
I get out of bed like between like 7:38.
Is that your perfect day? Wake up call time, or do you
Well,
want to
I
wake up
like to
earlier, or do you want to wake up later?
I like to wake up when my body naturally wakes me up. That's perfect. I don't like waking up to an alarm. So,
All right, so say 8 o'clock is your natural wake up time.
yeah, about 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay. Spend some time with my husband, get the kids off to their pod, and I go to Marble Strength. I do some fitness, and then I hang out for an hour, do some stretching, and then I go over to Marble weightlifting, and I do some Marble weightlifting. And that's about a good 4 hours at my happy place. I go home and I try to eat some protein, and then I go and grab my kids and think about how I can do better at the gym tomorrow for the rest of the day. I wait till about 8 o'clock when the workout's out, because I'm really excited about that. Look at the workout. I already kind of know what weightlifting is all about. Go to sleep, and I do it all again the next day. That's legit my perfect day.
So you're already living your perfect day.
Every single day. The worst day is Sunday, because you're closed. Everyone's like, Happy Mother's Day. Hope you have a great Mother's Day. I'm like, the gym is closed. What do you mean? Have Happy Mother's Day. Joe closed the gym today. It's closed.
Well, this week you have Summer Shred today.
I do.
Then you have Summer Shred on Thursday. Then you have Summer Shred on Sunday.
I know, which, listen, when you programmed that on a Sunday, I was very happy, because now I get out of bed and I get to start my day off in my favorite place. And then like the whole day is just different, because I was able to go to the gym on a Sunday, and the whole day just has a different feel. And then I know the next day I'm just going to go back to the gym again. So yeah, pretty much any day that I don't wake up and get to go weightlift is not a good day. And even my husband says it. He's just like, you're not a good person if you don't go and weightlift. And he gets annoyed. He's like, I just feel like you're always so happy at the gym. And I'm like, sorry. I really like it there.
Hey, he brought you here.
He did. And I feel like he regrets it sometimes. But like he doesn't, because like we were talking last night about, I don't even know what the heck we were talking about. I think Joey wasn't doing good at football. And he was like, I'm just going to live vicariously through you when your weightlifting comes. I was like, you can join. He's like, no, I'm just going to watch. I'm like, why? It's so much fun. Come join us. And he always says, he's like, I just don't know how you do it. And I'm like, do what? I love it. How do I not do it?
That's the motivation everybody needs. Inspiration. Gina's
you have to have a deep love for it. And I think growing up, like I played some sports, but like I just think I was afraid of a lot of things. And something clicked in me when I came here, and I just was like, no, I'm not going to be afraid of this anymore. I'm just going to jump in and do it. And if I fail, I fail. And I have that mentality going into the weightlifting comps too. I'm not looking to be the best or get a medal. I'm literally going out there to prove something to myself, but I still get so damn nervous where my legs stop working and I don't know what to do anymore. And I have
that happens. That just happens to everybody. I mean, it's anxiety, it's competition nerves. It is what it is.
Yeah, but my legs feel like bricks. In the last comp, I couldn't even eat anything. I went on stage with no food in me, Joe. There was nothing in me.
You needed to have like a little shake.
I know that's what Heather and Ryan said, because I was just like, I can't feel my legs.
I like to do like carbs and stuff in the shake.
I think I'm gonna have to start doing that. Yeah, because I don't know, and it was like my fourth comp, maybe because I didn't feel like I was prepared. I was really nervous more about the clean and jerks. I don't know. I just get so damn nervous, and that's why I do a lot of these local events, because I feel like that I have to find my groove. Like I literally don't even set the alarm clock. I literally am just up all night waiting for 5:30 in the morning for me to get up and go. I can't sleep.
I mean, I'm envious of how you live your perfect day already. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Like I wouldn't work as much in my perfect day.
Well, I mean, I do have a small business, right? But it's cool because I can take orders while I'm weightlifting. And I said to my husband one day, I was like, because then I really like calculated how much time I spend at the gym. I was like, so does it like bother you that I'm at the gym all day? And he's just like, if you didn't have dinner made and the kids were not taken care of and the house wasn't clean, I would be annoyed. But you pretty much do it all and you still go to the gym for 4 hours. So I'm okay with it. So, you know, you want to make sure your husband's happy. What'd you say?
God bless Joe.
I know. He's just like, I'm just happy you're staying out of trouble and having fun.
There you go. Yeah, staying out of trouble. That's another podcast another time. What are your current lifts and what are your goals for the end of the year?
So I would like to hit 40 on the snatch by the end of the year. I don't know if that's doable. I feel like it is. I have the ambition to do it. I really want to clean up my clean and jerk because I can clean and front squat so much more than I can jerk. And I just need to fix that part. I think right now I hit 35 kilos from the blocks with the snatch.
Yeah.
And I still think I only have a 41 on the clean and jerk, maybe a little higher on just the jerk from the rack. But I need to really fix that. And so my goal by the end, I think you're going to be having a comp in November, is to open up in the 30s and get as close as I can to 40 with the snatch and with the jerk, the clean and jerk. I really would like to hit 44 or 45 by the end of the year for sure.
That's right there. You already have the clean. It's just putting together the jerk.
It's just putting the jerk together. I mean, I have some limitations still on this side, but I never really try to use my wrist as an excuse. It's just a part of me at this point. I just got to work around it. So I just have to get my footwork better, and I just have to get my head through better. I know what I have to do. It just has to click for me. It just has to kind of come together.
Well, I know it's going to happen. You put in a ton of work, so
yeah,
we're gonna be fine for November.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
We're not opening at 28 anymore. We're not putting whites on the bar anymore.
No. Well, I mean, I think
Maybe,
still the whites will still be there just because 40 kilos is when the greens go on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but the whites will still be there, but we'll get past that for sure.
We will eventually, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Joe, I never thought I would even snatch 35 kilos ever in my entire life. I think the most I snatched before I started weightlifting was like 45 pounds. Yeah, that was it.
Wait till you snatch 45 kilos. Then it gets interesting.
It's going to get real interesting.
Yeah.
But I know we're eventually going to get there for sure.
Yeah. All right. Plug your website, Gina.
Oh, my website?
Yeah. What do you sell? Where do you sell it?
I sell EMF protection, and I did a whole blog on oxidative stress and working out. So basically what I sell is stuff to neutralize your AirPods, your phone, your Apple Watch, all the things that people don't realize are kind of zapping their strength. And just stuff that could possibly make your whole lifting experience a lot better because you're not being bombarded by a bunch of nonsense around you. So if you're interested in learning more, you could reach out to me, or you can go to www.onestopemfprotection.com, and I could hook you up and explain some things to you.
I will put that in the show notes for anybody who's interested.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Make sure you contact Gina for all your EMF protection. And if you want to be like Gina and lift in competitions and learn more about weightlifting, come see me over at Marble Strength and Marble Weightlifting. Gina, thank you for being on the MarbleCast today.
For having me.
Awesome. And thank you guys for listening. Age is inevitable. Weakness is not. So get out there and lift some shit. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Thanks for listening to today's MarbleCast. We hope you enjoyed that episode. Follow us on all social media, Instagram at Marble Strength or at Marble_weightlifting. If you'd like to learn more about weightlifting, head over to MarbleStrength.com and we can help you out. Click the form and a coach will be in touch with you as soon as possible. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.